Once upon a time, in a meadow where the grass shimmered like emeralds and the sky was always the softest shade of blue, there lived a little bunny named Coco. Now, Coco wasn't just any bunny. Coco was magical. With a wiggle of his nose, he could make wildflowers bloom in an instant. Poppies, daisies, and sunflowers, all bursting with color. With a flick of his fluffy tail, he could light up the fireflies, turning the meadow into a sea of tiny golden lanterns. And on the very best nights, if he hopped just right, he could sprinkle stardust across the sky, painting the darkness with glitter. Everyone in the meadow loved Coco, not just for his magic, but for the way he made them feel, like anything was possible. But one morning, Coco woke up and something felt different. He wiggled his nose at a little daisy by his burrow. Nothing happened. He wiggled it again, harder this time. Still nothing. The daisy just sat there, perfectly still. Coco tried his tail next, flicking it toward a sleeping firefly. Not even a flicker. He looked down at his paws and whispered, "Where did my magic go?" A knot of worry settled in his tummy. Without his magic, who was he? Just a regular bunny. Coco sat at the edge of the meadow, his ears drooping low. He had never felt so small. But Coco was brave, even when he didn't feel like it. So he set off into the forest to find some answers. His first stop was the old oak tree, where Oliver the owl lived. Oliver was the wisest creature in the whole forest, and he always knew what to say. "Oliver," Coco called up, "I've lost my magic. Do you know where it went?" Oliver blinked his big amber eyes and ruffled his feathers thoughtfully. He said. "Tell me, Coco, when you made the flowers bloom, what were you thinking about?" Coco thought for a moment. "I was thinking about how happy they'd make everyone." Oliver smiled. "Interesting. Very interesting indeed." But before Coco could ask what he meant, Oliver simply said, "Keep looking, little one. You're closer than you think." Puzzled, Coco hopped along the mossy path until he found Hazel the squirrel, who was busy stacking acorns into a wobbly tower. "Hazel, I've lost my magic. Have you seen it anywhere?" Hazel laughed, a bright, bubbly laugh that made Coco smile, even though he didn't mean to. "I don't know about magic," Hazel said, "but I do know this. Every time you visit me, I feel like the luckiest squirrel in the forest. You always remember my favorite jokes. You always share your berries. That feels pretty magical to me." Coco tilted his head. "But that's not real magic. That's just being nice." Hazel winked. "Is it though?" Still confused, Coco wandered deeper into the forest until he reached the quiet stream where Fern the deer came to drink each afternoon. "Fern," Coco said softly, "everyone keeps saying strange things. I lost my magic, and I don't know how to get it back." Fern lowered her graceful head and looked at Coco with her warm, gentle eyes. "Coco," she said, "do you remember last winter when I was hurt and couldn't walk to the stream? You brought me water every single day. You stayed with me and told me stories until I fell asleep. No spells, no stardust, just you." She paused. That was the most magical thing anyone has ever done. Sat by the stream for a long time, thinking about what his friends had said. Oliver talked about what was in his heart when he used his magic. Hazel said his kindness felt magical all on its own. And Fern said the most magical thing he'd ever done had nothing to do with powers at all. And then, like the sun breaking through the clouds, Coco understood. His magic had never been in his nose, or his tail, or his paws. His magic, his real magic, was in his kindness, in his laughter, in the way he made everyone around him feel seen and special and loved. The sparkly stuff, that was just the wrapping paper. The real gift had been inside him all along. Coco smiled. a big, bright, from the bottom of his heart smile. And as he did, something wonderful happened. A tiny daisy by his feet began to bloom, then another, and another. Color spread across the forest floor like a wave of joy. The fireflies woke up, blinking and twirling around him in spirals of golden light. And high above, a trail of stardust drifted across the evening sky, sparkling brighter than it ever had before. Coco's magic was back, not because he had found some missing piece, but because he had finally understood where it came from. It came from love. That night, Coco returned to the meadow, where Oliver, Hazel, and Fern were waiting for him. They sat together under a sky full of stars, laughing and sharing stories, the fireflies dancing all around them. And Coco knew, he knew deep down in his little bunny heart, that no matter what happened, his magic would never truly disappear. Because the most powerful magic in the whole wide world isn't something you do, it's something you are. And if you listen very carefully, on a quiet night, you might just hear the meadow whispering Coco's secret. True magic comes from the heart. The end.